Hey guys, Ramsey here. Welcome to another haul video. So this is round 2 actually of the last of the haul videos, but this is going to be the last of the haul videos niche, and we'll call it artisanal edition. I guess that's a fair assessment. But first, we have some decants. So very kindly, one of my perfume god people, Frank, very kindly sent me some decants. So let's see what we have. Some things that I've never sniffed before. The community, I will say this, the community definitely makes it a lot easier on me to do videos and not dip too much into the savings, you know, to buy samples and stuff like that. So thank you very much, Frank. Very kind of you, mate. Let's see what's in here. Let's see what we have. So first, we have, yes, this is one actually that I have never smelled before, and it's been on my to sniff list. He said he absolutely loved it. From 1987 this is. This is a mini of Halston Limited. Are you guys familiar with this? Because I actually am not. I've never smelled it before, but the note listing is right up my alley. So Halston Limited is a discontinued Halston fragrance. Actually, all of the big Halston fragrances that I know and love, like Halston Z14 and 112 and Halston Catalyst for Men, for example, all discontinued according to Parfumo. But this is aldehydes, artemisia, basil, bergamot, and green notes with patchouli, rose, clove, coriander, jasmine, vetiver, frankincense, and iris, and finally a base of benzoin, castoreum, musk, tonka bean, amber, cistus, leather, and moss. And so Halston Limited has the exact same, can't get this off my finger, has the exact same sort of, you know, red blood cell, like pinched bottle that Halston is kind of famous for. And the fact that this has castoreum and leather, I have a feeling I'm going to really like this. That's just my guess, but this will be awesome. This will be awesome to talk about on the channel. And look what they used to do back in the day. Speaking of how things were back in the day, look at this. They used to put a little insert. Look, copyright 1986, Halston Fragrances. Let's see what it says. A special word about Halston Limited. You are among the privileged few to experience the newest men's fragrance to follow the award-winning successes of Halston Z14 and 112. Get ready to release the rare refinement of Halston Limited for the man of unlimited potential. Sample this compelling brilliance of bergamot and mandarin, herbs and spices, woods and moss, with an underwarmth of musk and amber. Truly one of the new rewards of success to possess and to prize. Halston Limited for the privileged few. Oh, I just imagine the snowflakes just getting so offended at this. The privileged? They're making a fragrance for the privileged. Oh my goodness. To the streets. But yes, I love these old advertisements. I wish we could go back in time. Send me back. Maybe things weren't all better, but the world, from Ramsey's point of view, does seem better from back in the day. So yes, that is Halston Limited. Can't wait to wear this and talk about this. This will make a great scent of the day, one day, and a great early impression video. Thank you, Frank. So yes, cool little packaging too. Halston did good things back in the day. And then we have some other Halstons. Some Halstons I've never smelled before, actually. So this is Halston Man Amber. Are you guys familiar with this one? Halston Man Amber. Let me look this up. let me look up this Halston Man Amber. Halston Man Amber. 2010 release. It's actually in the same pinched red blood cell bottle, but it's in gold. The entire bottle's in gold. And it's also discontinued. Man, the House of Halston is just completely, I guess they're done. I guess no one cares about Halston fragrances anymore. It's compared to the original 24-cent story, which I've never smelled the OG. Geranium, thyme, bergamot, amber, myrrh, labdanum, musk, oud, and cedarwood. A Halston fragrance with oud. How insane. Thank you, Frank. That's awesome. Appreciate that, brother. Okay, so now that the appetizer is out of the way, let's do the main course. So basically, this is a haul that I did not plan on. Actually, it fell into my lap, and Hari, who is a subscriber of the channel, basically reached out and said, hey man, I'm selling these fragrances at this price, and he gave me a price, and it was extremely fair. And he said, what do you think of that? And I said, I think you're being nice to me because of the channel, but I very much appreciate the kindness, the gesture from people in the community. Can't, you know, I'm not going to be upset looking a gift horse in the mouth and trying to find error with it. So he sent me this haul at a very, very reasonable price, or else it probably wouldn't have happened because I have some other things coming too. And, you know, you can only spend so much every single month, let's say. And so this was one of these hauls that just fell in my lap. And so shout out to Hari for being extremely fair and being a subscriber and being here with us on our little journey. But first, I want to talk about scent of the day, because today, for the very first time, I wore this. And this is Mark Cross Cologne from Eau de Cologne from 1978. And I wore this to work today. I'm wearing it as my scent of the day today. And it is absolutely beautiful. I paid about $150 for that 100 ml bottle. I think it's absolutely worth that for the vintage lovers. It is very masculine. The guy sitting next to me who doesn't know anything about fragrances, he kept saying, I smell flowers from it. I'm like, you don't smell flowers from this. Get the hell out of here. This is like a 1978 masculine fragrance. But he swore there were a bouquet of flowers in there. I was like, okay. It's mostly leather, leather, wood. Now he's got me mixed up. Leather, woods, spices, that kind of thing. Very classy, very traditionally masculine, if you will. Almost no sweetness. 1978 through and through, you know. Fantastic juice. And it seems to last all day. I mean, if this is what the Eau de Cologne does, they also have an Eau de Toilette, which is rarer than hen's teeth. But if you find the Eau de Toilette at a reasonable price, if you find either of these at a reasonable price, go for it. It was distributed by Helena Rubinstein, who you'll sometimes see Helena Rubinstein fragrances floating around. But yes, Mark Cross from 1978. Good stuff. I can vouch for this. Thank you, Jonathan, for the rec, by the way. Okay, so let's get into the haul. Let's see what's in here. I know some of what's in here. And he said there was a freebie, which I don't know. So, let's see what we get. Let's see what we get. I guess oh wow, very well packaged. Here we are. I'll tell you this about my subscribers. They know how to package stuff. They do not play when it comes to packaging. Sorry about the bubble wrap and tape pulling. Unfortunately, there is no other way. It must be opened. Here we are. We have packages, boys and girls. We have packages. It's like, it's like back-to-back Christmas Day. Christmas is for Ram. All right, let's see what we get. I'm going to need the handy dandy unboxing knife. The scissors aren't cutting it there. I'd rather have a little bit of a struggle opening the package than have it spill all over. So to Donnie's point, he left me a comment saying, don't ever be mad at good packaging, Ramsey. And I said, you know what, Donnie? Damn it, you're right, man. You're absolutely correct. You cannot be upset at good packaging. Although this is really good packaging. This is really good packaging. This is going to be me struggling for like... Okay, so the first two bottles are these. So first of all, we have... which I have a bottle of this on the way, actually, from deepest Poland. But again, I could not say no because this has been on my list for a while. And this is from the house of Maison Francis Kurkdjian. And this is called Ciel de Gomme. Now, Ciel de Gomme is a fragrance that was originally created for... It was a fragrance that was originally created for a Russian department store called Gomme. And Gomme department store was sort of Russia's, claim to fame. And apparently when the communists were in power, they really didn't have very much to offer. Their wares were well beneath what you would find at a Western department store. But they've really come up since then. And so let me show you a couple other Francis Kurkdjians that I have that are floating around here. So I've talked about this. This is Oud. I think the original Oud Eau de Parfum is a really good fragrance. And so this just sort of adds to that collection. I also have Absolute Pour Le Soir floating around out there. But very stoked to have Ciel de Gomme. Very hard to find. And discontinued. They discontinued kind of his best work whenever LVMH came to power. They discontinued his best work. They discontinued Ciel de Gomme, and they discontinued. They also discontinued Absolute Pour Le Soir. But Ciel de Gomme, and I think it's one of Francis Kurkdjian's best work, period. No matter the brand. Doesn't matter the brand. You pick the brand, and it's one of his best work. It's amber, pink pepper, vanilla, and jasmine, which seems like a very boring note listing. But if you know Francis Kurkdjian's work, he likes simplicity. And he takes these very simple ingredients and turns it into something amazing. One of my favorite amber fragrances of all time, I think. One of my favorite ambers of all time. And look at that. It was even engraved. It was engraved with Hari's name. How cool is that? A memento from Hari. That's awesome. That's good stuff, Hari. Thank you for sharing, mate. Okay, next one is actually a backup because I recently bought a bottle of this because I loved it so much. And so this is a backup bottle of Ensar's EO #1. And I recently did an Ensar video on Tiger Lust. And Tiger Lust is, I think this or Tiger Lust is kind of the toss-up for me between which one is Ensar's best work. I really like Tiger Lust. I've got that 9.5 ml Discovery Atomizer. And, I have, go watch my video if you want to kind of hear my thoughts on Tiger Lust. But EO #1 is kind of his animalic, woody, leathery fragrance. And what Ensar does is he uses castoreum to recreate this you know, animalic leather accord. And these leather pouches that go around the Ensar bottles are actually made by the man who makes these leather goods by hand, and he makes them for the Pope as well. The Pope's Bible are made by the same gentleman. He's like a world-renowned leather producer. And smelling the inside of this and smelling the cap, there's a very interesting correlation between the two. So yes, EO number 1, fantastic. One of my favorite Ensars. There's beautiful rose in here. There's resins. There's balsams. There's Thai oud. There is cypress from the island of Fiji, I believe. There's lavender, nutmeg, rosewood. But one thing you'll notice as soon as you spray, and I mentioned this in the Tiger Lust review that I did, is there's this almost what I have come to think of in my mind's eye of this patented Ensar sparkling ambergris accord that you get sort of as soon as you spray. You get this sort of sparkliness to the leather. It's not just deep and dark like you know, some of the leather fragrances that I love can be deep and dark and challenging, and I completely understand that. But this one, and Ensar's work in general, even Tiger Lust has a little bit of that, you know, Ensar ambergris, and it feels like there's a decent amount of ambergris used. There's tobacco, there's Assam oud, there's Ethiopian frankincense, papau sandalwood, tree moss, and vanilla. And I've really come around to some of Ensar's work. My biggest critique is I always want it to be more. You know, I have the sickness. Me and Russian Adam share a similar illness. We both want more. I want more ambergris. I want more oud. I want more animalics, more castoreum. And this to me is a very wearable. This is a very wearable fragrance. It is. I mean, this could be like a signature scent easily. You know, there are some animalic oud fragrances that you just wouldn't wear to the office or something like that. I would wear this to office. This is a very wearable scent. So EO number 1. All right, next package. Here we go. Ugh. Come on, unboxing knife. Don't fail me now. Okay. All right, here we go. This is Camel. Probably one of the best zoologists, as far as I'm concerned. Camel is... So, Camel... if you don't know Camel, Camel is all about like dried fruits, dates, spices. It was actually created in 2017 by Christian Carbonell, aka Chris Maurice. He goes by both names. So this is dried fruits, frankincense, rose, and what they call date palms, with incense materials, myrrh, cinnamon, orange blossom, amber, cedar, and jasmine, with a base of civet, musk, sandalwood, vanilla, oud, tonka bean, and vetiver. And interestingly enough, let me just show you guys something. This is an older bottle of Camel. I'm pretty convinced this is an older bottle, and I'll tell you why I'm convinced that. Because if you actually take the... now, what did I do with it? Ah, here it is. So if you take a newer bottle of Zoologist, you'll notice something immediately, and that is the cap has the Zoologist logo printed on the top. This one does not. There is also no sticker on the bottom. Just a couple little things that instantly caught my attention. So I think that this is an older bottle, I'm guessing. The sticker obviously could have been removed, but the cap is a telltale sign. They've also made it much heavier. The new caps feel like they've added some heft to them. But yes, very excited to add this to the repertoire. if there was another Zoologist fragrance that I was going to get a full bottle of, it would probably be Sacred Scarab. I think that's one of the best releases of 2022. Top 5 for sure, hands down. L'Œil de l'Exquise is number 1, probably Sacred Scarab is number 2. But, I mean, look how distinguished he looks. Looking off to the sun, looking off to a brighter future. You know, I love this. I love this. This is good stuff. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, next package. Come on, unboxing knife. Don't fail me now, baby. Don't fail me now. Okay. We are making progress. Okay, here we go. So this is one of the reasons why I wanted to do the deal right here. This is something that has been at the very top of my list. At the very top. Very close to, fuck me. Very close. Fucking A, this is so good. Very close to the very top of my list. And actually, I have to thank, first, before I thank Hari, I have to thank Jonathan B. Swift. He goes by, his name is Eddie, but he goes by Jonathan B. Swift. He got me a decant of Inverno Russo, and I fell in love with this. I think, oh my God, this might be one of my favorite musk fragrances of all time. And the reason is that Russian Adam told me that he used the skin of the musk pod, which makes it more animalic instead of the insides of the musk pod. He uses the skin. And so this is Inverno Russo. I mean, can you even put a price on this? It is it's so good. I mean, it's so good. It is literally one of the best musk fragrances ever created, I think. Ever. If you've never smelled real musk, and all you've smelled is the musks that you find in, you know, what I would call mainstream perfumery of the last 100 years, because it's pretty shocking to most people that even if you go back to the 1920s, 10s, 1920s, they weren't using real musk. Those old Guerlains and Chanels of the 20s were not using real musk, even back then. That's how rare finding real musk fragrances is. And that's why these are, to me, they're invaluable. This is, and then, to top it off, you get multiple types of oud. So you get Chinese oud, Indian oud, Indonesian oud, Virginian cedar, but I think this is my favorite musk fragrance. This or Siberian musk would go head-to-head for me, but this actually goes even more animalic, and the deer musk note is mixed with civet. And Russian Adam was telling me that he made some individual tinctures that ended up going into the final product here. And the individual tinctures were things that he doesn't think he can find again. Like, for example, he went into a shop and saw Peach Blossom Absolute, and he tinctured it. He said he's never seen it, or he created Peach Blossom Absolute. He's never seen peach blossoms since then. And he's like, you know, it's one of those one-time things. Champaka Flower Absolute, Osmanthus Absolute, you know, just stuff like that. These individual tinctures that he made back in the day that you know, just can't be recreated, basically. So, yes. And what a beautiful cap. I mean, with the precious stone on top. Wow. Wow. I mean, I know this is just me drooling over this fragrance, but this fragrance is drool-worthy. It is drool-worthy. I may even wear that tomorrow. Okay, next on the list, we have... What do we have? Ah, we have to open a box is what we have to do. All right, knife. Don't fail me now. The knife is actually starting to get a little wobbly. All of this cutting. Sorry about that. I saved the knife on that one. So this is an exclusive Guerlain that you actually can't buy anymore. I think it was specific to maybe it was like a limited edition or something. I can't exactly remember. But this has been on my list for a while as well. It's just one of those impossible to find fragrances. And I've heard many people talk about how great this was. I don't think it's still available for purchase anymore. If it is, I'm sorry, but I'm very excited to get to know this as well. And this is, because I've never smelled this before. This is the first time just smelling the atomizer. Oh my God. It smells like it's going to be an amazing rose fragrance. This is Rose Nacree du Désert. And Rose Nacree du Désert is a 2012 release. And floral oriental with Persian rose, patchouli and saffron, with oud, cedarwood, cardamom, and turmeric, which is a note you do not see very often, with benzoin and myrrh. So, yes, I'm very excited about that. Okay, final two fragrances. I believe it's the final two fragrances. And one of these is another one that, that basically I've been hunting for forever. And it's been one of those unicorns. It's just, and that's the thing about this. People might look at this and say, how in the world do you find these fragrances? You have to make connections with people. It's the only way. I mean, you just can't go to a store and buy these. So you have to make connections with people. So one is a backup of Russian Oud, which is one of my favorite oud fragrances of all time. And this is what the original, oh fuck. This is what the original cap looked like. Let me show you my bottle. I've shown you my bottle a lot on the channel. You'll notice that my bottle has this newer Areej Dore cap. And that's because this cap had a issue. There was a leakage issue that it had, because whenever it would get hot, it would actually expand and contract. And I think it had this issue with staying closed. So I ended up getting a new cap and a new atomizer on it. But man, I'll tell you what, I don't know if you can see, but around the outside, there's a little bit of residue. And can you see how sticky that looks? Look at that. It almost looks like benzoin. If you've seen my materials video where I talk about individual materials, one of the ones I talk about is benzoin. And I mentioned just how sticky it is, even opening the lid. And that's kind of what, oh, it never amazes me. It never fails to amaze me. And it has the cap, the precious stone cap on top. Priceless. Adam's work is priceless to me. And finally, the one that just really made me just jump out of my chair. Really made me jump out of my chair and say, yes, absolutely, 100%. This is a must for me, because I've been hunting this for a long time. And some people say that it is, the best musk fragrance of all time, which for me, it would be Inverno, Russo, or again, Siberian musk. So, but I've never tried this one. So this is Russian musk. And so Russian musk is, I've got to try this. I have to try this. Russian musk. I might make that my scent of the day tomorrow. Russian musk from 2018. It is an animalic spicy fragrance with Fir Balsam, Lemon, Pine, Bergamot, Mandarin Orange with cinnamon, orange blossom, tonka bean, clove, sandalwood, and nutmeg in the heart, with a base of amber, deer musk, Burmese oud, Cambodian oud, cypress, oak moss, Sri Lankan oud, Thai oud, patchouli, rose, and vetiver. And so, I'm getting much more, I gotta spray it. I mean, I can't go off of this. I have to spray it. But yes, I mean, almost speechless. These two alone, almost speechless. Then you add in the Inverno Russo, which I think might be my favorite musk of all time, and it's just, fuck. I mean, look at the detail Russian Adam did, and his new collection. I mean, I know it's a limited edition collection, but I think his new oud collection is going to be, I'm guessing, just by, never smelled any of them, obviously, they're brand new. But I'm going to buy as many as I can because I think they are going to be priceless in the future. That kind of oud, I mean, do people give Roja, you know, there was a bottle of Roja's Majestic Oud, which doesn't even smell like it has any real oud in it. None. It smells like it has zero oud. It's still a fragrance I enjoy, but I go in eyes wide open knowing that there's no real oud in there. And there was a bottle on eBay because it's discontinued for $5 large. And that's not $500. That's $5 large. They want $5,000 for that bottle. And I'm like, they're out of their damn mind. So when I see, you know, whatever Adam's asking for his fragrance, $500 a bottle, $400 a bottle, $190 a bottle, $600 a bottle, I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer. If you can even find them, because they're going to be very limited. And I think the demand is going to be through the roof. I'm hoping that a couple things happen from this is my hope. Number one, Russian Adam does another oud collection like this very soon for people that missed out on this one. Number two, this awakens more people to what real oud is, because part of the reason that I think Russian Adam took this work on and he wanted to start Areej Dore is he wanted to show the world what these real ingredients were like. Not the stuff the big houses were force feeding us, you know. He wanted to show us what real oud, real musk, real sandalwood, you know, real patchouli and real oak moss and real rose. His Malik Al Taif has 40% Taif rose. That Malik Al Taif now just jumped to the #1 Areej Dore wish list. I wish everyone could sit here and smell this with me. This is unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. So I know we're only one day after the final haul video, or the last of the hauls. Here we are, the last of the hauls part 2, but this is going to be a niche indie version, and even to have backup stuff like this is just stone cold stunner. It's a stone cold stunner for me. And, you know, this, which has been on the wish list forever, and now I have Hari memorabilia. I'll never forget who was kind enough to give me this haul at a very generous price, by the way. And yeah, I mean, I can't wait. I can't wait to dive into these more. I mean, what can I say? What can I say other than thank you? I'm even excited as hell to wear this damn Guerlain. It smells amazing. So yes, that's my haul. I cannot leave out Frank for the Halston Limited and the Halston Amber Man. But Hari's haul, I think, takes the cake. So yes, thank you to everybody. Again, everyone who has contributed anything to the channel. Whether it is a sample that allows me to do a video on, or whether it is stuff like this, which is above and beyond. Thank you, seriously. It's been one of the things that I've said, and I haven't said it lately, but I'll say it again now, is I've been surprised by, I would say, the extremes in the community. And one of the things that I expected is I expected a lot more people, whenever you start a channel, to just kind of talk shit to you, you know? And the percentage of people that are in the comments, or they're rude or mean or just down, you know, the point, I'll call it the 0.1% of the population, is a lot of times I'm noticing the same people just opening up different accounts, I think, after they get blocked. So I'm just blocking those people. Fuck them. But on the other extreme, one thing that I was not expecting was the generosity on this side. And the amount of people that I've met because of fragrances, because of Fragcom, and the quality of people that I've met in this in this community, it really took me by storm, took me by surprise. I was not expecting that at all. And so over here you have just this, you know, vicious anger, and it's a tiny population of the people. 99.9% of the viewers, I think, are absolutely amazing. And it's almost like you're, you know, I love vintage fragrances, as you know, because it's like going back in time and being in a time when, you know, it's like being part of that time, part of that era when the fragrance was released. Wearing this Mark Cross for Men today, it's almost like going back to 1978, you know? There's a little bit of that. And some of the guys at work were kind of having a good time actually smelling it, because I brought a little decant. I sprayed one of them today, actually. And, you know, it's to me, it's like going back in time a little bit and discovering some of the people in the community, and just how so many of them have hearts of gold, and they want to share. They want to share their collection. They want other people to explore it with them. Is something that that really has shocked me, and I'm very grateful for. And it's almost like it's almost like that you're meeting vintage people. It's like you're meeting people that you just don't meet every day. You know, nowadays I feel like most people, I mean, hell, if you don't drive through the yellow light fast enough, people are like going to run you over behind nowadays to get to work 5 seconds earlier. Or, you know, walking on the sidewalk, if someone bumps into you and you drop your briefcase or something, they're not going to stop to help you pick it up. You know, those are the kind of people that you meet nowadays. I feel like I'm meeting vintage-minded people because of this hobby. And I love it. I absolutely love it. It just goes to show that there are still good people out there. And, you know, we do still exist. Although if you watch the news, you would think everything is shite. And you would think the world is on its head. And while it can be, sometimes just spraying a beautiful fragrance and letting yourself just kind of relax and enjoy where it takes you, the journey, for me at least, it makes it better. It's better than any drug, any addiction. I mean, this is for me. You know, there's a couple things that have kept me sane over the last decade or so. And it's constantly trying to at least run a couple miles. I try to do a couple miles every day if possible, although I obviously can't do it every day. Sometimes it rains. I like to run outside because I'm not a big treadmill guy, but just trying to stay somewhat physically fit, take care of your body to some extent. I'm not saying go out there and be Arnold Schwarzenegger, or, you know, just try to get cut and ripped just to show off how ripped you are to people, but take care of your body for yourself and your family and your friends, you know? And the second part is fragrances. Fragrances have been almost like a savior for me. I mean, they have been. Everything that I've learned, all of the discovery, it's like an entire world opens up to you and you learn about all these things. And for me, these are the kind of things that I want to be wearing, to be quite honest. Stuff like this, Russian Adam's work. This is the kind of stuff that I want to wear nowadays. This is the kind of stuff that I yearn for to wear. Just because the modern houses are so disappointing. You know, they really are. The modern houses and what they've done, what LVMH and L'Oreal and Puig and all those houses have done to modern fragrance makes me sick. And that's why I go vintage, or I go what I call this indie, or not even indie, but, you know, Ensar used a word that I liked on one of his videos. He called it artisanal niche, or the artisanal, you know, indie world. And I think that's a good descriptor of it, because this is somebody, you know, these are people who basically get in there with their own hands. They hunt down the wood that's going to be used in here. They distill it themselves. And go watch my interview of Russian Adam, by the way. The very first interview, it was almost a revelation getting to hear him talk, because he talked about the whole couple hours was like revolutionary for me. But what he talked about, which really stuck with me more than anything, is seeing the art of perfumery through being a distiller, distilling the notes and ingredients and, you know, what's going into the perfume first, yourself with your own hand, distilling the sandalwood, distilling the oud, and the tricks of the trade and being a distiller and what you can do. And then going back on it and looking at the art of perfumery from the eyes of a distiller. So if I want this patchouli to be a little bit more smoky, I can distill it that way, specifically with what fragrance is going to be in mind for that smoky patchouli. And he said it's really opened up his eyes about, you know, what he's become in his journey. And that was a kind of a turning point for me. And just to show the vast difference between what you get when you buy a fragrance like this, or like Ensar's, or like his friend Dmitry Bortnikov's, and what you get when you buy something like this. You know, they're two different worlds now. And this was 11 years ago, this came out. So now the stuff they're putting out, I feel like every year it just gets worse for the big houses. And I like Guerlain's one of my favorite houses. I know I'm going on a ramble here, and I can't help it, so it's just going to happen. But I wore this to bed last night. I wore this to bed. One of a couple things I wore to bed. Actually, I wore this right here. I wore this right here on this wrist. The Mitsouko Extrait, or Pure Parfum. This is the Parfum de Toilette. This is my favorite. This might be my favorite Mitsouko ever. I'm going to try to back this up, actually, whenever I do my next haul. The last of the hauls, part 3. But oh my, I wish you guys could smell this. I mean, one of the greatest fragrances of all time, hands down. I mean, I know Mitsouko is one of the greatest fragrances, but this is one of the greatest versions of one of the greatest fragrances. This Parfum de Toilette, it blew my mind last night. How beautiful it was. I mean, it'll almost bring a tear to your eye. It's almost like a fragrance should not be that beautiful. It's out of this world. And then I wore on my elbows, or on the inner crux of my elbow, right here, I wore the original Monsieur de Givenchy, which was probably my least favorite of what I smelled yesterday, because it felt a little flat and a little strangely powdery. There was this, this is turning into almost like a Persilet's blotter update, except I'm the blotter. But yes, I wore it to bed. It's got a little bit of that Chanel Pour Monsieur thing going on, you know, with this lemon and carnation and cinnamon and pepper and lemon vervain, lavender, oak moss, musk, and sandalwood. But on this arm, I wore this Monsieur de Givenchy Haute Concentration, the flanker that came out years later. And this, oh my God, I mean, my mouth is almost watering smelling this. My excitement for this fragrance shot through the roof, because this might be one of my favorite versions of this DNA. The Haute Concentré is out of this world good. I know it's hard to find, and I'm not trying to hype something that is a unicorn or anything like that. It's got the exact same note listing. But you know how YSL Pour Homme or YSL Pour Homme Haute Concentration, the one they put out like 12 years after the original YSL Pour Homme in 71. In 83, they put out Haute Concentration of YSL Pour Homme. And it's supposed to have more of this dirty, raunchy, oak mossy, you know, kind of like an animalic moss. Imagine like you're smelling like an animalic oak moss. But that fragrance didn't move me. And I only wore it a couple times to bed, but there was something about it that just felt, I don't know, maybe it wasn't what I was expecting. It didn't have that wow factor. This one, though, did. And that's what's so surprising about vintage fragrances sometimes, is sometimes you'll find something that just clicks. You know, it just clicks with you. The Monsieur de Givenchy Haute Concentration just clicked. I mean, last night I was like, So I had one of the greatest fragrances right here and right here. And the Parfum de Toilette was my favorite, hands down. But that Monsieur de Givenchy Haute concentration was like a shocker. I was not expecting how good that was. And so that's the stuff I want to wear. The vintage and what I'm going to call sort of the indie artisanal brands, you know, stuff like this. So again, thank you, Hari. Very, very kind of you. Thank you. And thank you to everyone who sent me something. Everyone who sent me samples that are waiting to be talked about on the channel. I promise we will get to it one day. It's just a matter of when, whether it's tomorrow, whether it's a year from tomorrow, my schedule sometimes. And I make decisions like that. I mean, that's just how I make decisions. I don't, my videos are not planned. Believe it or not, they are not planned. I don't have like a schedule of things I'm going to do. It depends on whether I'm working from home or working from work. And how much, you know, how much time I can kind of finagle to do videos. And, you know, the early impression videos mean I usually have to wear it as my scent of the day. Am I in the mood to try a fragrance that I've never worn before? Or maybe only worn it to bed once as my scent of the day, or do I want to wear my favorites? You know, so there's so many variables that come into play, but I promise you, I will get to everyone that sent me a sample of a fragrance. I promise it's on the list to do. It's just a matter of patience and time. And you know, this channel is only a year, not even a year and a half old. And I feel like in that year and a half, I've put out more content than people that have had channels for 10 plus years. I pump out a lot of content, but it does take time, and it does take, you know, wearings, and it takes, you know, me making notes and doing the video and uploading it and all that stuff. So I'm just saying that to say, please be patient if you have sent me something, but I promise I'm going to try to get to everything. So again, thank you to everyone who sent me something in the past, and then of course today. Thanks for watching. Let me know what your favorites are from the haul, and cheers guys, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.